Om Kayena vacha manasyendrayirva Bhutyatmanava prakriti swabhava Karomi adyat sakalam paresma Narayana samarpayami Narayana samarpayami.
Dear Seeker of Truth, welcome. This is a very auspicious moment. We are going to talk about Bhakti. Bhakti, divine love. So we are going to talk about Bhakti as the essence of all spiritual paths, as the soul of all spiritual paths, and also as a path in itself, Bhakti Yoga. So this is a work made by Sage Shandilya, the Shandilya Bhakti Sutras. Not much is known about this Shandilya, only that he was a sage, a God-realized being that gone through many other philosophies and finally got to the nectar like Bhakti as the soul of it all. So Sage Shandilya had a very intellectual approach also. He was concerned about getting from the different authorities, the different scriptures, the validity, the importance of Bhakti as a spiritual path. So he gathered that all and shared it. So may you all find divine love in your hearts. May you all be blessed by this auspiciousness. May you all find God. Moving on, Shandilya Bhakti Sutras, Sutra 69. And here we arrive at the offenses, Namaparadas, offenses to the divine name. So Shandilya says, beware of the offenses, the aparadas. The gravity of the offenses are considered as it is done intentionally, involuntarily, or accidentally. There are methods for expiation to neutralize their negative effects. So, depending on the type of offense, there are methods to neutralize it. We will go through this point by point. So what are these offenses? So Shandilya warns about the offenses. There are two types of aparada, which means offenses. One should become completely free from nama paradas, which is offenses to the holy name, and seva aparadas, which is offenses committed while serving the deity. Devotees should remain extremely careful at all times to not commit these offenses. We will see why, point by point. It is true that utterance of divine name can absolve us from all sins and enable us to attain salvation or love of God, both of which are so difficult to get. So this is true that the divine name, the utterance of divine name, can bring this. But that is possible only when the name is uttered with faith and reverence and the practice is free from all taints of sin against the name. Sin. But then there is offense, which is even higher than this. So the power is there in the utterance of the divine name, but it will only bear fruit, bear that final fruit, when it is free from all taints of sin, and done with faith and reverence, full faith, full reverence. And no sins against the name. The holy name is so extremely powerful that nothing can deter the holy name from leading us to prema, divine love, well, except one barrier, and that is aparada. Offenses stops the grace of the holy name. So these offenses, we will going to see them one by one, but it's the disrespect for the sacred dimension, disrespect for God, and for all the means in the direction of God. Humility is the basis of all, and it is needed to save us from the aparadas, from the namaparadas and seva aparadas. So without humility, you cannot be saved from this because, well, even your posture will be offensive. You cannot avoid it. Humility is the soul of devotional practice. Offenses alone can stop the holy name. So, humility is the basis of the devotional practice, because with pride, there's no devotion, no real devotion. It can be a rajasic devotion, devotion for personal gains, but no real devotion. Humility is the bath that makes us, although we may possess all good qualities, feel that we are amazingly small and unworthy because of our actions, of the divine grace, that we see all as a blessing from God. So this is an exalted state that you realize how small you are and unworthy of God's grace by your own actions, by your own blindness. This is not a mental concept. This has, when there's really humility, this is seen. And then everything is seen as a blessing from God. This is a very exalted state. When we possess such humility, it will save us from committing offense. Of course, because you will have eyes to see. And then what was before unimportant, no problem, it becomes visible. How insulting, how offensive that is. And then God will be pleased with us, of course, because we are in tune. Purity has increased to reach this level. A lot of purity has to be there. As we continue to chant the holy name, the humility will arise in our heart on its own and make us chant inoffensively. Well, when this chanting is done free from desires, untainted by desires, then it gives this fruit. Because if it's still tainted by desires, it cannot bear this fruit. When it is done for self-importance, for whatever reason, to enhance egoism, then it cannot give these fruits. Of course, if we wish to attain praying, we should pay great attention to all offenses and chant with utmost humility. And not only that, but making humility the center also, the basis of the spiritual practice, working humility in all opportunities. This is the instruction of the great souls as well as the scriptures. Yes. Humility is needed to save us from namaparadas, the offenses to the divine name. We should be tolerant like a tree in two ways. A tree never protests even when it is cut. It dies of thirst, yet does not beg for water. In spite of this, it gives its wealth to whosoever asks for it. It bears the heat and rain, yet offers shelter to others. When we devote ourselves to God in this manner, chant the holy name in this attitude, we gain love for the lotus feet of the Lord. This is a very high level state of an exalted devotee. I will read it again. Humility is needed to save us from Namaparadas. We should be tolerant like a tree in two ways. A tree never protests even when it is cut. So a person should not protest even if it is hurt. It dies of thirst, yet does not beg for any water. This is very beautiful. In spite of this, it gives its wealth to whosoever asks for it. It bears the heat and rain, yet offers shelter to others. When we devote ourselves to God in this manner, chant the holy name with this attitude. Love of God, which is the ultimate realization, is gained. We should be lower than a blade of grass and as tolerant as a tree. We should not expect any respect from others, yet respect everybody. In this manner, we should constantly present ourselves before God. So, Namaparada, Namabas, and Shuddhanam. It is mandatory to know this for attaining the ultimate aim of human life, which is pure love for God, the differences between Namaparada, Namabas, and Shuddhanam. So mechanical and unscientific chanting of the holy names, even for crores of ages, will not benefit us if we wish to attain pure love for God. Offenses are different and graver than sins. So this just mechanical chanting of the name without eliminating the offenses and the sins will not bring those results. So just repeating the name will not bring you, well, it always brings something, but not this divine love for sure. The stages. Namaparada, offenses against the holy name. Compared with darkness, Namaparada is the worst stage. It can yield worldly enjoyments or bhukti, which is opposite of bhakti only. One who commits Namaparada can never go beyond this material universe. Sufferings are in store for such a person in every other birth, as Namaparada is many times heavier than all other offenses and sins. So these offenses to the holy name are many times heavier than everything else. So it can yield worldly enjoyments, meaning that the fruits of this chanting usually are more of a mundane nature. Of the spiritual nature, very little comes out of it. And this is dangerous because it is corrupt chanting, it can be corruptive. So as these worldly desires are being realized, then distraction and being lost in them, the chances are higher. So Namabas, the second stage, semblance of the holy name, compared with twilight, that which dispels darkness of the Namaparadas. Namabasa is a better stage. It frees us from the bondage of Maya. It is that condition of the chanter where there is no offense against the holy name, but at the same time there is no loving relationship with the Lord yet. So it is better, but not yet the ultimate stage of the chanting, which is the pure chanting. It enables us to chant the name without offense. With the appearance of Namabas, all kinds of evils like sins, offenses, etc. automatically disappear from our minds. It yields mukti because the the power of the holy name is free from the barrier that was blocking them, that was the offenses. The mind, thus free from all worldliness, can take to the chanting of the pure holy name of the Lord. However, neither Namaparada nor Namabas is desirable for those who desire pure love for God. And that is Shuddhanam, pure holy name, compared with light that makes both Namaparadas and Namabasa disappear. So, when the Shuddhanam, or the pure holy name, appears on the horizon, we become full of pure love for God. However, neither Namaparada nor Namabasa is desirable for those who are desired for pure love for God. For such devotees, less than Shuddhanam, or pure names of the Lord, will not be beneficial. Less than that. Because the highest comes only with the highest purity. Now, this is important. The pure name of the Lord is one and the same with the Lord himself. This praying is the result of offenseless chanting. This divine love is the result of the offenseless chanting of the names of the Lord. This kind of divine love or praying is the summum bonum of human life. This is very important. The name is equal to the Lord himself. So when you repeat the holy name without feeling, without reverence, without respect, it becomes offensive. And keep an open mind for those who are not familiar with these teachings. They are not much available, only the traditions of Bhakti, but this is very important indeed. By the grace of the name, the pure chanter now sees his own identity with the identity of the Lord. In this stage, he attains pure love for God, the supreme need of human life. So when you reach this high level of chanting, he attains that communion with God. The more he chants the pure name, the more he gets increasingly intoxicated with the nectarine bliss of divine love towards the Lord and his names. Because this divine love has nothing to do with human love. It is overwhelming, it is infinite, it is incomparable with human love. So when you're loving God like you're loving someone else, this is not pure love yet, because pure love will overwhelm you completely. A pure chanter of the holy name is overpowered by 8 sattvic bhikaras, transcendental symptoms of love. First, stupor, then sweat, horripilation, breaking of voice, horripilation of the skin, then shiverings, breaking of the voice becomes breaks because of the emotion present, tremors, pallor, tears flowing, and fading. Those who are unable to experience the above results of chanting need to realize that they are not chanting Shuddhanam or the pure name. So this is where it is seen if there are offenses or not. Chanting with offense will not be beneficial even if done for infinite number of years. So you keep on chanting the name, which is the gate for salvation, for God realization, but you're chanting with offenses. It doesn't take you far. Serious devotees does need to make sincere efforts to avoid offenseful chanting, so that they also can remove the offenses done so far and sins, so that the power, the holiness of the name manifests in the devotee with all its might. Transcendental humility and complete surrender to the preceptor or Gurudev is mandatory to be able to reach the level of Shuddhanam or pure chanting. Transcendental humility, it's not just simple humility, normal-like humility, it's transcendental humility. And complete surrender to the preceptor or Gurudev. Complete surrender is needed to achieve this purity of the chanting. Without it, cannot be reached. The Namaskar, offenses against divine name. I will repeat this so that this concept sticks into the mind. The glory of the names of the Lord are indescribable. A devotee should try to avoid these offenses. Lord Narayana, Vishnu, the Supreme Lord Hari, with all his names, forms, qualities, and pastimes, are all transcendental and not different from him. This is what I've been telling. So all of these names, forms, qualities, pastimes, these are all equal to God. They are God's manifestation on this world. Should be dealt with utmost respect, reverence, devotion, surrender. So the holy name of the Lord and the Lord himself are one and the same transcendental truth. They are one and the same transcendental truth. There is no equivalence of this within this material world. Nothing comes close to these manifestations of the Lord. The holy name, pay attention to the holy name. This pure knowledge can only be acquired on the strength of bhakti. All paths that don't have bhakti as an end are devoid of life, meaning and ultimate purpose. And I have to say this, that even the path of bhakti without bhakti has no life. And yes, this exists, like in all spiritual disciplines. People seek spirituality through their mundane worldly difficulties, illusions. So it happens on all spiritual paths. It shouldn't happen so much in the bhakti because it is clear that bhakti is the purpose. More clear. Okay. You can only realize this auspicious truth by the unification of your sincere, pure devotional practice, by one hand, and the strength of the mercy of saints and the Guru, or the Guru. So these two coupled together, your sincere and pure devotional practice, and the strength of the mercy of the Guru and or the saints. Until then, one chants the holy name with Namaskar, with offenses, and the devotional practice remains imperfect. And let us not forget that the Sutra clearly states that they are considered as they are done intentionally, involuntary, or accidental. So the more you know about God, about right conduct, about these things, more responsibility and the more intense the offenses get. So the more devotion you reach, and then you disrespect that, the biggest by far the offense gets. By chanting the holy name offenselessly, we attain the intelligence to approach the ultimate goal, the feet of Lord Narayana, the Supreme Being. Because even for that, intelligence is needed to see what needs to be seen, to let go, what needs to be let go, to understand the subtleties of the spiritual process. And that only by purity is achieved. If you chant relentlessly, do intense spiritual practices, beg God for help, even with offenses, the Lord will send you the guidance in the form of the Guru to remove these offenses and clear the path towards God. But this needs to be honored, as you will see below. So we'll continue in the next video, but even if you're in that conditions, but if you beg God and you work sincerely, you show that you really want God and God alone by your sincere efforts, and you beg for help, God will send you the Guru to help you. Okay.
Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, tvameva bandhushka sakha tvameva, tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva.